Ah, okay. Ah, I'm gone. Ah, ah. Finally, I'm back on the bike. Well, sort of. If you've seen my last video, which was months ago, you'd know why I had to stop cycling. Just because of a crash, followed by the birth of our twin baby boys. And ever since my recovery from my injury, which took about 6 weeks, and the arrival of our baby twins, I haven't really found the time to exercise. And if ever you've been a parent, you'd understand that what follows with newborns are sleepless nights. But as other parents have said, it does get better when they get a little bit older. And that happened to us. So when our sleep got a little bit longer and I was able to find more time during the day, I wanted to find out how much fitness I've lost since I crashed. And if you're in a similar situation as me where you have to spend significant time off the bike due to whatever circumstance you have in your life, you'd want to stick around for this video because I'll be sharing how far my FTP has fallen in these past few months. And to get a bigger picture, I'll be comparing these results with a similar situation I had the year before. To find out how far my fitness has fallen, I'll be using FTP or Functional Threshold Power as my metric. Functional Threshold Power or FTP is the highest power in watts that you can maintain for an hour on the bike. FTP is a number I've been trying to build up ever since I learned of it because first, much of my training depends on it. To achieve appropriate training stimuli, my workouts and efforts should be proportional to my current FTP. And secondly, it's something nice to flex in those bike chat groups. However, it's imperfect and shouldn't be the only metric that we use. But for the purposes of this video, in measuring my own fitness regression, we'll be sticking to it. Do you use other metrics to measure your own fitness? Comment down below and let's talk about them. To measure my FTP, I'll be using what I've been using for the longest time, the Trainer Road Ramp Test. This is not a sponsored video, by the way. I've just been a long time user of this app. So the ramp test that I took was exactly 120 days or about 4 months since my crash. To recap, my stats back in April 2025, my FTP was at 247 watts, my body weight was 76.7 kilos with a total watts per kilo of 3.22. Note that since my crash, I did no exercise at all. And these are the results from that test. An FTP of 184 watts, my body weight of 79.2 kilos, resulting in a watts per kilo of 2.32. Personally, the results weren't as bad as I expected because I thought that I'd go significantly lower with my FTP during that period. But I guess I was still able to move around. My legs were working, so I was walking more, doing stairs more, and moving around the house more, and carrying the babies when I could. These everyday movements also helped maintain my form in some way. But it wasn't exercise as people would usually expect it to be. Similarly, the year before, I went through a period of not cycling also. This was during the time that we were trying to start our family. And our doctor prescribed that I stop cycling in the meantime to help our process. And I thought that she knows best, so I followed her advice. At this point in May 2024, my FTP was 3.22 watts per kilo. But we were still told to do some moderate exercise. So stuff that's not as intense as long distance cycling to maintain a healthy body. And the form of exercise that I switched to was running, which wasn't as foreign to me since I used to run track and field back in college. But since then, you could say I've forgotten how to run. To motivate myself to run again, I had to set a goal. But I didn't want to run something as long as a half marathon or even a marathon. So I signed up for something shorter, a lot shorter. And this was for the 2024 Philippine Masters Track and Field competition. I chose the 800-meter run, which was something that I used to do back in college. And I only had to run 2 laps around the oval. So my time off the bike during my running era was around 6 months. Unlike my more recent cycling hiatus, I had a structured training plan for this running era. Thank you ChatGPT, the program made sense and I got it for free. This running era ended when we finally conceived our twins. After 6 months of no cycling and just running, I took a train ruled ramp test to see where I was at, and it resulted in a power of 212 watts with my body weight of 80.2 kilos. I actually gained 6 kilos during my cycling break. My running training wasn't as intensive, or I probably just ate too much. Putting these two numbers together, my final FTP for this time period was 2.65 watts per kilo. So to compare my 2 stretches of not being able to ride, the first one in 2024 with my 6-month stretch with some running and light strength training, I lost 17% in my watts per kilo from 3.22 to 2.65. In my second stretch in 2025, which was shorter with 4 months but no exercise, my watts per kilo went down by 28% from 3.22 also to 2.32. The stark contrast here is that 4 months of no exercise did more damage than 6 months with non-cycling exercise, which should be expected and shows how important consistency is in maintaining your cycling fitness. While for myself, I'm back to day 1 again. But now that I'm back on the bike, I'm also curious if any of you have any tips for someone like me who's trying to get back in shape coming from a long time of not being able to bike. Leave your training tips or any references to training programs down in the comment section so other viewers can also learn from you. Another question I have is, how long do you think it will take until I get back to my 3.22 watts per kilo fitness? Given that now we're taking care of 2 baby boys, make your predictions in the comments below. I'll make another video once I get back to that level of fitness. And let's see who'll get it right. So if you like more cycling content, don't forget to like and subscribe.